Cuty, good to see you. Thanks for making a bit of time to come and have a chat. I appreciate that because I know you're busy. I'd like to kick off by asking you about something that you mentioned to me last time we were talking. You said to me that the biggest thing you were struggling with, or the biggest challenge, if you like, that you face is that you're setting up a business in a completely unfamiliar country. Now, I can only imagine how tough that'd be. I mean, it's tough enough setting up a business in the country that you know. I mean, you've come halfway around the world and set it up in a completely different country. So, I mean, tell us about how you ended up doing that and why. I mean, tell us about how hard it's been. I mean, what is it that's been challenging?
Yeah, no, absolutely. First of all, thanks a million for having me, Paul. It's always been a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, as you know, I'm originally from India and I moved to Ireland almost 12 years ago. And my journey has been quite unconventional. I never, I'm a qualified dentist and I did my accountancy exam, so never thought I would be ending up in technology and
Mm,
entrepreneurship at all. There was never the plan. However, it just happened. And there's a long story behind it. We'll talk about it some other day, but yeah, one of the things when I started Cosmotec or Recruit Pro, my business 4 years ago was, having setting up the business in Ireland altogether was a lot different to what I
mm,
would have imagined in India because the cultures are different. You don't come up with the same background as other people in here. You don't have same level of network and connections as other people who are born here would have naturally.
mm,
You would know your dad's friend, you would know your own friends, dads, and whatnot, and then it's easy to spread the word. And that was one of the challenges, which I had. But at the same time, these all challenges are in your mindset. You're thinking about these, and you're just trying to make your journey difficult. Most of the challenges are not even challenges when I actually look back and think about it.
mm,
All I had to do was, just get out of my comfort zone, go into every single networking event in the country, no matter which country you are from. At the end of the day, you're talking to a human, so doesn't matter, if you're from Ireland or America or India. It doesn't matter. We all are humans, and we all want the same thing, which is respect, talking to each other, making connections, and that's what I did. And soon I realized that whatever the barrier I had in my mind about setting up a business in new country is not actually a barrier. It's just about, making my own connections, which I did. And yeah, I found really good people throughout the journey. They helped me a lot. I got good help from my neighbors, from people who I didn't even thought they would be helping me.
mm.
So yeah, and here I am. So yeah, that's my
And
journey.
let me ask you about the thing that I mean, you mentioned that you started out as a dentist. Now, I mean, it's a bit of an odd switch. I mean, to my eyes, anyway, to be a successful dentist and then want to switch to build a technology company. And I mean, just tell us a little bit about that transition, because that's a kind of a bit of an odd move, really. I've not met many people that have made that move. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do, but
Yeah.
I've not it's unusual, I think
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So when I moved to Ireland, I think it was back in 2014. I got my graduation from India. I did 2.5 years of practice when I moved to Ireland, and there was different rules and regulations in dental council in back in 2014, and you had to give your exams and get qualified and whatnot. But if you don't have 3 years or more experience in your original country, you can't sit into those exams. So this was one of the rule of Irish Dental Council back in 2014, and that's why I was not allowed to sit into exams. I was not allowed to, they were not accepting my graduation, and the
Right.
only way for me to practice in Ireland was I do my graduation again for 5 years, which was not sensible because I knew everything. I studied everything. So I tried to do that for 4 years, but things were just not working out. I've worked in Smiles Dental Clinic in the first 4 years of my career in Ireland. But yeah, as I said, things were not working out. So I had two options. One was just, keep sulking about what has happened with me and then just do nothing, or just be a dental assistant and, accept that this is what my career is going to look like. There's nothing wrong in that as well, but at the same time I wanted to I have huge ambitions for
Mm,
myself,
mm,
and I wanted to have a career. I wanted to grow in my career, so I started applying for every job in the country, and then eventually I got a job in an accountancy firm. I did some of the accountancy exams, and then I naturally drifted towards technology. In my previous job, I was working with businesses to help them become efficient with the help of technology, was working with developers, did my leadership diplomas, PMPs, and whatnot. And that's where I realized the power of technology and then how
mm.
important it is for every business to have tech. And yeah, so that's how it happened.
Okay. I mean, so actually it was trained as a dentist, trained as an accountant, and then moved to tech. So it's actually even
Yeah.
a slightly more complicated journey than I first thought, actually.
Yeah.
And that must, I mean, the thing that was going through my mind as you were speaking is that that must equip you with all sorts of useful information and knowledge because you've transitioned across two sectors, which it must bring, that must have enabled you to experience some really different things. I mean, the dentistry business is very different from an accountancy business, which again is very different from being in tech, isn't it? So all that stuff is useful, it strikes me. Let me ask you about the businesses because you set up two businesses. I mean, tell us about the first one you set up, Cozmotec, and then tell us about the one that you're now building. I mean, because you're doing another completely different business. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about those.
Yeah, so Cosmotech was set up, 4 years ago, and the whole idea and mission behind Cosmotech was to make technology accessible for every business, no matter what size.
Right.
I wanted businesses to use technology to enable growth. It wasn't just building softwares; it was, that can help them to grow their business and make them more efficient. And that's where Cosmotech came from. And that's what we do. We help businesses to identify the gaps in their existing processes, find out the manual element, see what we can automate, how we can make them more efficient, develop the solutions for them, and then, maintain the solution, train the staff, and then help them in this, technology journey. The second business I had is Recruit Pro, which is 1.5 years, 2 years old business, which is a SaaS product. So when I used to work in my previous job, I used to work very closely with recruitment industry, dealing with temporary staff and contractors.
Mm.
And that's when I identified a huge gap in the market, that there is no such tool in the business which or for recruitment companies which help them to onboard, manage about compliance, manage about
Right.
invoicing, timesheets, all of those back office management system. There's no such system which is very much automated. They're fragmented tools, all right. They're softwares, SaaS products in the market which does half of the things, but there's no such solution which provide full end-to-end solution. And that's where Recruit Pro came from, which is a SaaS product specifically for temporary management of temporary staffing and healthcare workers, construction workers, and contractors.
And let me ask you the question that probably everybody's thinking about at the moment. I mean, AI. I mean, it's everywhere at the moment. It's the thing of the moment. I mean, it probably won't be in a couple of years' time, but it's the thing of the moment. Just explore a little bit about the role that AI has played in both of those businesses, and how do you see that going forward?
Well, I don't think we have a choice now when it comes down to AI. Like, every business have to adopt AI no matter what. The way we operate and the way businesses have been operating is going to change. It's changing already. It's not even
Yeah.
going to change.
Yeah.
And the sooner we all start incorporating AI, in our day to day, that's when the actual growth is going to happen. Otherwise, we will be left behind. In terms of myself using AI, in Cosmotech and Recruit Pro, we are a tech first company. So, we have to adopt AI ourselves. All our processes are with the help of AI as well. So, I'll give you a very simple example with Claude. Like, Claude is really, really good when it comes down to creating processes or analyzing data, giving predictions and whatnot. Of course, you have to be very careful in sense sharing the data in terms of GDPR. You can't be sharing full information, and you have to hide certain sensitive information. But all my processes within the business is developed with the help of AI. AI can give you the best practices, and then I had to just edit something. So that's what we have been using. Recruit Pro is AI for SaaS platform as well, so it has AI agents like your payroll AI agent, invoicing AI agent, which
Okay.
does all of those for you. It has an AI tool called data analysis for data analysis. So it is, you can ask any questions to this AI, and it will give you the real time answers about your data, which is there in Recruit Pro. So yeah, we are at the forefront of using AI ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And let me ask you, what would you say you're building towards? I mean, are you gonna sort of, build up Recruit Pro and then sort of abandon Cosmotech? I mean, most people have enough trouble keeping one business going. You're focusing on two. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you building towards? Do you see these? I mean, what's one of the questions in my mind is whether these businesses are kind of complementary in the long run. I mean, how do you tell us about where you're going with this?
Yeah, and they are complementary. The mission of Cosmotech is to make operations efficient, right?
Right.
No matter
Yeah.
how we do it. So, and that's what Recruit Pro does. Recruit Pro is we have developed a SaaS product ourselves, so that companies don't have to pay for developing solutions. We've already done the work, and we are just licensing it to them. So instead of investing a huge amount of money themselves in developing something to automate their business, they are using it. Whereas with Cosmotech, we develop bespoke solutions. So if you have a business and then you have unique problems which cannot be solved with the SaaS products out there, we develop bespoke solutions. So both are complementary to each other. Both businesses have the same mission. One is niche towards recruitment. Cosmotech is generalized towards any business. But at the end, we are doing the same thing, helping business to grow faster and then grow smarter.
Yeah, yeah. And your point about growing smarter, I think, is quite an interesting one. Let me ask you about what I mean. What would you not want? What do you want your legacy? I mean, you may not have thought about this, but what do you want your legacy to be in the long run?
I want to create, I know impact is a very, it's everyone uses this word, but for me, legacy is, if people can remember Cosmotech or, Recruit Pro with a name that would have helped the business to save money and time, is what my legacy would be. So, being globally recognized brand, where people, whenever they're thinking about operations, they should think about Cosmotech and Recruit Pro.
Wow, big ambitions then, as you
Big
say.
ambitions, you never dream smaller, right?
Yeah.
You have to dream big.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And I love a bit of ambition. I think it's one of the things that makes entrepreneurs exciting to work with because they've
Yeah.
got generally, not all of them, but generally speaking, they've got some quite interesting ambitions, things that they want to achieve, and they're willing to stretch themselves and their teams. Let me just turn to the mechanics of how you're going to do this, and in particular, your role as the CEO. I mean, well, just to start with, I mean, how do you, well, what does it mean to you to be a decision maker in the age of AI? I mean, let's just explore that for a second.
Yeah, like again, I have a huge, I believe in making decisions fast, then, sitting on decisions. And then with AI and with the help of AI, decision making is, can be even done quicker now because, you can have, if I had loads of information about my business and I wanted to analyze all the data since last 4 years, it would take me at least a couple of days to analyze everything and
Mm.
take decision based on that. Now with the help of AI, I can take the same decision within a couple of hours because, it speeds up the process. So, and the worst thing you can do to your business or to anything in your life is sitting on a decision because it doesn't matter if the decision is right or wrong, we'll deal with it. Even if it is wrong, there's no wrong decision. You will learn from it and you will adapt yourself and then you can take the right decision, but you have to take the decisions, and that's what I've been doing, and I agree, like, you have to do that and use AI to even foster that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what you're describing because what you're saying is that the risk is not accessing the opportunities. So the risk is not making the mistake;
Yeah,
it's missing out on the opportunities. Really, what
absolutely.
you're saying is that fair?
Absolutely, that's exactly it. Because, as I said to you, like, as I say before as well, that making mistakes is not a risk because if you make mistakes, then only you can learn. If you don't take
Yeah.
the opportunity, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. And then, you will be sitting where you are at the moment. That's the worst thing.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about the flip side. I mean, because what you talked about the positives of AI.
Yeah.
The flip side is that it creates enormous threats. I mean, just recently there's the news about Mythos, a particular AI that is built to identify weaknesses in people's cybersecurity systems, and that potentially creates a massive threat to things like banks. Any company that's got large amounts of data is at risk. I mean, what's your take on the kind of increasing threat levels that AI also, because they're great opportunities, but it also presents some really quite significant more threats.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a huge thing which everyone needs to be aware of. And that's why the best thing we at smaller level can make sure that we are not giving the information which AI should not be knowing. And we need to take that decision in the very start. We can't be sharing too much information with the AI as well.
Mm.
We need to be very careful of where this data is going as well. If you take the paid versions of it, and then when people are saying that their AI is not learning from our data, that's one thing, right? But at the same time, let's be honest, all these cybersecurity threat attacks and all of those, that's going to increase with the help of AI because
Yes,
when
yes,
you're
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that AI is going to help us analyze and then find out how we can do things better, at the same time, AI is going to help analyze what are the gates where people can get in and then
yeah. Yeah.
have these cybersecurity issues and threats and whatnot going on as well. So I think the way we can make sure that this doesn't happen is, is keeping ourselves informed about it, keeping our staff informed about it, keeping, spreading the word. There's so many videos. I don't know if you've noticed or not in on TikTok and things like that. They are so real and they are AI still,
Yeah.
so hard to identify which one is real and which one is not. So that's gonna AI is getting better. So that's gonna even happen. Like, one of the theories which is gonna happen is that people can ring someone from your voice. If they get access to your voice from AI or somewhere, they can just train AI to talk in your voice, and then they can ring your family members and whatnot. So that's another, threat that is gonna happen. And we need to have, government need to have rules and regulations in place for that. We will have to have new laws coming in for these sort of attacks and things like that as well. So yeah.
I guess there's also an issue about how you help your staff, your senior team,
Yes.
to manage those things when they happen, I suppose.
Yes.
But let me ask you about one of the other things that people say to me is that being an entrepreneur is a bit like riding a roller coaster. I mean, there's good days, there's bad days. I mean, how do you feel about, and well, what is it that motivates you to kind of bounce out of bed every morning and to ride that roller
Yeah.
coaster, if you like?
Yeah.
Because it's a tough, I mean, being an entrepreneur is it's a great thing, but it's a tough gig as well. I mean, what's your take on riding that roller coaster?
Well, absolutely. I would describe entrepreneurship as Irish weather. It can be sunny, it can be raining, it can be, dark and gloomy. So that's how it is. And then on the same day, you will have a roller coaster of emotions. Like you will get a good news, you'll get a bad news, and everything on the same day. So yeah, it's not easy. It looks easy, and it's very cool when, when you go and set up your business. And I did the same when I set up my business 4 years ago. I was like, I'm gonna be billionaire in next 3-4 years, and that's how it is going to be. But at the same time, it has its own kick. It's, I know it has its, its own hardship. There are challenges, but what keeps me going is, if anything happens, you need to learn from it. And as I said to you before as well, like one of the things which keeps me motivated is, whenever anything wrong happens or whenever I get any bad decisions, I take some time, sit back, have a look at what happened and what could I have done better. Is there any way I could have changed the outcome of whatever has happened with us? If I can, I will change it. If I can't change it, then I give my 100%, and that's what you can do. You can give your 100% on a daily basis. You will be doing that anyway if you're in a job. So why not? One thing which motivates me is I'm able to create employment. That's the best thing you can do, with anyone. I'm able, with the help of Cosmotech, with the help of Recruit Pro, there are so many people who are able to live a better life, and I want to do that for more employees. I want to do that for, for even bigger part of the population, and that's what motivates me. And that's why, whenever I'm having a bad day, I look back into all of these things and then I get energy again. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tremendously rewarding being able to create jobs for people.
Yes.
I mean, I get that. I totally get
Yeah.
that. And you're right, absolutely right. I mean, it's what the economy doesn't matter where you live, it's what the economy is built on, really, the ability
Yeah.
to create jobs. Let
Yeah.
me ask you about how have you, I mean, this kind of relates to where we started, that you come from a different part of the world with a very different culture. I mean, I love India. It's very different from Ireland. I mean, my family are from Ireland. I mean, I love
Yeah.
Ireland too. Very different places. I mean, in what way would you say your values have shaped the way that you've built your business?
Never giving up. India is a place where there is cutthroat competition.
Right.
In India, you can be either a doctor or an engineer or an accountant. There is no other option. Lawyer, maybe, but these are the four professions. You can't be anything else. When you are even 4 or 5 years of old, you are given all these life lessons about how you have to build your career. So you have been brought up in a way that you have to, it's do or die situation all the time. And if you want to make good living out of anything, you have to be at the top of everything. You have to, if you're in whatever age you are, you have to always be on the top.
And is
So
that where, sorry, let me just ask you, is that where your ambition comes from? Because when I've spoken to you in the past, I mean, one of the things that comes across is this tremendous sense of ambition. Is that where it comes from, would you say?
I think so, yeah, because that's what I've been. I always wanted to be. I've seen my parents working hard. My dad has, he's done really good. He's very well known in his industry in Europe, States, and wherever. And he was my motivator all the time. And I was like, I wanted to do something like him, where whatever I'm doing, people need to remember me. Money and everything is secondary, but for me, I just wanted to be I wanted to create a difference, so that people can remember me. But for good, of course. But that's what my ambitions have been always. But again, I think it just the one thing which I have is I always have very short goals. So, and I always chase moving targets. So I'll have a 6 months goal. I want to achieve it no matter what. And that's what I think about. Once I achieve that, then I have another target. So, I don't rest. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I love what I do anyway. So, it's not like I am anyway, tired or I don't enjoy, even if I'm working 17 hours, 20 hours a day, I don't mind it because, I know I am enjoying it. So
Mm.
yeah.
And I mean, on that journey, I mean, have you had any real surprises where things have turned out the way that you didn't expect?
Positive or negative? I have both
Well, we'll
surprise.
come back to the negatives in a bit, but just talk about the positives for a second.
Yeah, no, I had so many surprises. As I said to you before, when I started, I was very hesitant that, I
Mm.
am, how am I going to get my first sale? How am I going, people don't even know me. And how is it Cosmotech ever going to survive and all of those. And I believed in myself. But again, there was this sense of doubt in the back end, back of my head. But as I said to you, in the first 3 months of the business, I got help from people I never even thought they would be. Like, they were referring me, they
Mm.
were spreading the word. So that came as a surprise. People are so nice and helpful, and you forget, right? You're so much into yourself most of the time that you don't realize the power of relationships. So that's positive, and that was a surprise as well. What else? Yeah, like again, there's so many things which happen to me, which seems like luck, sometimes, but at the same time, I won't be calling it as luck because I knocked thousands of doors, and out of those
Mm.
one door open with huge jackpot. So yeah,
Mm.
surprises only come when you're working hard and you're trying, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, now I mean you've got to be in it to win it, as it were, haven't you? If you're not out there knocking doors, you're not going to have a door open and somebody say, "I can help you." So you've got to be out there making it happen, haven't you?
That's
And
it.
and that's one of the things I love about entrepreneurs is they've got that kind of get up and go.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your team, though. I mean, it's fine for you to work 17 hours a day. I mean, that's not necessarily sustainable in the long run, and it's not necessarily sustainable for a team of people, is it? I mean, how do you? I suppose what's behind my question is how do you create an environment where that enables your team to thrive,
Yeah.
if you like, and to do their best work and all that? I mean, how do you create that environment in your business? Because not all your people are local, are they?
No, no, I have a team. I'm managing a team globally and remote teams as well,
Yeah.
which is always tough. So that's why my day start at 6 o'clock in the morning because of the times differences. And
Yeah.
then I'm still working on Irish time zone. So I finish usually around 8 o'clock in the evening. However, coming back to your question, I am a huge believer of sharing the vision. Of the ultimate vision with everyone involved, in the team, no matter who that person is. And whenever I'm even interviewing people to join Cosmotech, I like to share that vision with them as well. And if they want to be part of it, they know what they're signing up for. We share problems. We don't have hundreds of employees at the moment. Like we have only a team of 31 at the moment, and it's a very close team. We all discuss, we all share our problems and whatnot. But one thing which has always helped me is being honest with with the team members, being sharing the vision, as I said, and sharing the success as well. So, it's for everyone. So they are motivated. Every person is different. Some people get motivated with money, some people get motivated with, the power, and there are different ways. So you need to, as a leader, you need to understand motivates your team member, and then you have to have different culture and different different way of paying them back. So that's what I do usually. And then the other most important thing for me is it's talking to them regularly and understanding where they are. So I usually we do a lot of, it's like an open culture. They can ring me anytime they want. It's not like they have to make an appointment to book a meeting with me. That never happens, and I don't want that to ever happen. so they can share their problems, and we all are there to support. So I've been very lucky in that sense as well. I say that all the time. My team, I started when I started, my first employee was someone who I knew. So I didn't want to take risk because, Ireland is a very small country and you need to make sure that you're providing the best in class customer experience. And if you get a bad word in the start of your journey, you're gone. Like, there's no way you will be able to survive. So I never wanted to take risk. So I hired people who I knew. The first 4 or 5 hires were people who I knew personally. And then after that, it was all referral. And that's how I built the team eventually.
And let me ask you, were there things that you, if you like, brought to that from your background as a dentist, from your background as an accountant? I mean, were there things in your background that informed the way that you've built the team? Because I mean, you've done it very successfully. I mean, it's hard enough building a team when they all come into the office, let alone when they're all remote. I mean, that's part of what makes it tough.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it from your background have you brought to that process to help that?
I did diploma in leadership back in my previous job, and that really helped me as well because we were
Right.
learning about all of those. I used to manage team in my previous job as well, so that experience came along. Dentistry taught me empathy, and then
Right.
when you are dealing with patients, you have to understand, you have to be in their mind as well sometimes because someone who is in pain, who's sitting on a chair, you have to understand what they're going through. It's not just about yourselves, and that's what dentistry taught me. So whenever you're talking to a person who
Right.
is in front of you, forget about what you have been going through. You need to be in that person's mindset now, and
Mm.
then you need to understand from their shoes. And that's what I think really really helps me whenever I'm talking to any person who is in front of me. I can understand, and I try to understand where they are coming from, and then put up my case against them. So I think that's what helps, and that's definitely have helped me in
Yeah.
managing the team. From accountancy perspective, it helped me to run my business efficiently in terms of finances. So it gave me so much idea about how businesses are run. So I won't say it helped me directly in managing the team. Dentistry certainly did.
Mm. I mean, you're the first person that's ever said to me, my customer service ideas come from being a dentist. I mean, I love that. I won't ever forget that. That's extraordinary. I mean, lots of people have talked about accountancy and understanding the numbers, but nobody's ever talked about the importance of dentistry. So
Yeah.
that's quite an interesting takeaway. Let me ask you about where you're going with the company. I mean, what is it about the company that excites you the most?
I it the okay, so the best news I get is whenever someone, like, I know I get happy with very small things. Whenever I get an email or a testimonial from a customer, that really excites me and that motivates me to do
Mm.
even better. So these are the small things which helps. But at the same time, when Cosmotech is doing good, when we are growing, so in the last, even in the 4 years, we are able to employ 31 odd people already at the moment. The ambition is to have offices around the world, as I said, not just in Ireland, not just in India, around the world, and then just go global. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, lots to keep you busy there. And what is it about that you enjoy?
What I enjoy. I enjoy making, I'm very, very, I love solving problems. That's my
Right.
natural passion as well. So if I am talking to any customer of mine and they come to me with a problem, listen, Cutie, we are having a problem with this side of the business and blah, blah, blah. And if I am able to solve that, and when I see the ROI on that, that really, really makes me happy. And then, that is the best thing because I can see they were spending 20 hours in doing something, and now because of that it's only 3 or 4 hours. And it used to be happening in my previous job as well. When I was in there, they used to say the same thing, that there's nothing which you can come to Qt with and she won't solve. So that's
Right.
another thing. that's
Right.
that's my natural passion.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a nice thing to have people say about you, I guess.
Yeah.
Cootie's the person to go to if you want to get a problem solved. Yeah. Let me ask you about the flip side to that. I mean, the thing I love about entrepreneurs is that they're very quick to identify when they've made a mistake, and they're usually pretty quick to fix it. I mean, which is very different from other parts of the economy. Talk to people in the public sector or in the third sector. They will often never admit they've done anything wrong. Entrepreneurs are very different. They're quick to identify a problem. They're quick to fix it, because if you don't, you go bust. What would you say is the biggest mistake that you've made, and what did you learn?
I was very much focused on growth in the start, and I just thought that I need to get growth in, and everything else is going to work out. But in order to have a sustainable business, which can grow properly and scale properly, you need to have proper processes. Everything comes around structure. You need to have detailed processes of how you're going to be doing things, and that's what I realized. Early last year, that we were growing, but we had no processes. So our quality of service would start dipping, because if we don't have processes, how are we going to manage all of that? And that did happen. So we focused on having implementing a process, having a proper streamlined way of who is dealing what, accountability, responsibility. Because when you are when you're a startup, pretty much you're responsible for everything from start to
Yeah,
finish. It's
yeah,
not it's shared responsibility. And when you have shared responsibility, they shared accountability. That means no one is accountable, because everyone is responsible for doing everything. So that's what I realized very quickly. And then we made changes within the organization. We create processes. We made people accountable for certain things. We took the responsibility from them as well, and then we saw the results straight away.
yeah, yeah. And have you had to make any really difficult decisions along the way?
Any difficult decisions so far? Thankfully, no. I think I had to make decisions, but there was nothing difficult in those decisions. Touch wood. I hope I wouldn't have to, but no,
Lucky you.
I know, like my first employee is still with us. We are growing, so we never had to let anyone go. And then from customers' perspective, no, everything has been fine. Um, no, honestly.
Well, I mean, you're very lucky if that hasn't happened. I'm sure it will at some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
you can worry about that when it happens.
yeah.
Let me ask you a couple of final questions before we wind up. Let me ask you about if you were to go back to square one, if you were to start from scratch, what would you do differently?
I would be more patient. I wanted to I wanted things to happen very fastly and very quickly, which was my naivety. I was not understanding that things take time. So there's no point in taking stress. Things will happen when they're supposed to happen. You just need to keep doing your best. So I wouldn't be taking stress. Instead, I would be using that energy into my business as well. So that's one thing. Second is that I would, sales, people are always worried about sales and operations and all of those. I think, having a right processes in your business is the answer to everything. If you have a process for your sales funnel, things will happen. If you have a process for delivery, things will happen. So, people tends to forget the importance of processes. I did the same thing. But, if you have structure in your business, you can't fail. You will be doing good. So yeah, these are the two things I would be
Lovely.
doing.
And if you were to offer some advice to a rookie CEO, somebody such as yourself starting out, what would that one piece of advice be?
I think, being an entrepreneur, when you take the first step of being an entrepreneur, you are removing your comfort, and you are stepping into a world where you will be surrounded with uncomfort, and you need to
Yeah.
be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's one thing. Second is that, you will make mistakes. So the sooner you make mistakes, the better, because no matter even if you wait 5 years in launching a product, when you will launch it, you will make mistakes. There will be learnings from it. So fail faster, fail quicker, learn quicker, and then just do things. Don't sit on decisions. And then the final thing is, no point in taking stress. Give your 100%. Do your best, and leave the rest to the God or whoever you believe in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things will work for you.
Yeah.
Just work hard and
Yeah,
smart.
I love your optimism, and I think those are some great pieces of advice there. So thank you for that. I mean, really appreciate you making the time to come and have a chat. I mean, what a great story. You're the only dentist, accountant, entrepreneur, tech entrepreneur that I've ever met, and I'm hugely impressed by that. So thank you for
Thank
coming and
you.
sharing that story. And what a great business to be working on, and good luck with those ambitions. I'm sure, given your determination, I'm sure it'll be a big success. So thanks for coming in and telling us about it.
No problem at all. Thank you so much for having me, Paul. Thanks a million.
Cheers, Cuty. Bye bye.
Bye.